open your mind and journey through the cosmos of the universe. This is Bridging Realms with Dr. Jean Carlisle and False Freedom 691.
On this week's episode of Bridging Realms, we want to delve into the realm of celebrity ghost encounters.
Very excited about this. These are celebrities. These are public figures that do not want to put their reputation on the line. So for them to come out and say that they've had these paranormal encounters, I think is a huge deal. I think they have a massive amount of credibility that we should really pay attention to.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, they're filling our heads with propaganda anyway, every day of the week. I think this is a real insight into their soul when they'll bear it all and they'll give us these ghost encounters and really just be honest for once about who they are and the shit they're feeding us.
Right. You know, these are celebrities that, you know, they have a brand. They don't want to seem crazy. They don't want you to see them and be like, you know, fuck this dude. This celebrity is insane. They're saying they see ghosts and shit. Like, I'm not going to go see that movie that they're in. They're possibly tainting their brand. So I trust that any celebrity or public figure that's coming out there and saying they saw something paranormal, whether it be ghost or UFO or interdimensional Bigfoot, whatever the fuck they're saying, you know, you got to listen up.
As you know, Hollywood is dominated by men, so you mostly get male opinions on this. And I've got to come out right now, and I've got to be the first one to say it right this very minute. Believe men. We need to believe men when they're telling stories.
I agree. I completely agree there. You know, we've seen the Believe Women movement. I fully believe that. And support it, believe women, but also believe men. False has a point. We must believe men here. And believe it or not, the first one on our list, it's a man. It's a male Hollywood actor, one that you know very well.
Yeah, America's sweetheart.
Mr. Dan Akroyd. Dan Akroyd, and you know, I know what you're thinking. This guy was in Ghostbusters, man.
Right. Did
he see a ghost on the set of Ghostbusters? The answer there is no. There's no reports of that. But he took that role because of his interest in the paranormal, right? His dad and his grandfather were both into that shit.
Yeah, his grandfather was actually a clairvoyant and would run seances. And his great-grandfather would document these seances. And it just it ran in the family, so there was kind of a paranormal aspect to the family to start with.
Right, so he's already got this interest. He does this movie, Ghostbusters, and then later in life, you know, rich Dan Akroyd has this big-ass house, and he feels like it's haunted. And he goes on record in an interview as saying that his fucking house is haunted by the ghost of Mama Cass. As in Mama Cass from the popular band The Mamas and the Papas. You know, California Dreamin'.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Mama Cass is supposedly haunting Dan Akroyd's house. So he believes that this, you know, is Mama Cass from The Mamas and the Papas. He said in the interview that he feels this way because the ghost has a big energy. He feels like it has a big spirit. And he's heard things being moved around, strange noises, and said that Mama Cass has actually crawled into bed with him. So, pretty shocking news here that Dan Akroyd is possibly fucking the ghost of Mama Cass from Mamas and the Papas.
Some think that the scene in Ghostbusters where Dan Akroyd gets the blowjob from the ghost...
Right.
Who I theorize was Slimer.
Right, we do know he gets the blowski from the ghosts. Go back and watch that. He does.
Yeah, and some people speculate that this is based directly on his tantric interactions with Mama Cass.
right there, dude. I think, he's getting BJs. He's doing sex with Mama Cass. He's banging it out with this ghost. You can see it happen right there in the movie. Definitely some method acting there.
Yeah, and guys, that's a PG movie. You can't show any further than a blowjob in a PG movie. Kids are going to see that, You can show a good old-fashioned blowjob, but nothing further than that. He definitely did more with that ghost. He did doggy style. He did anal.
All of it.
Ghost, for Ghost, nothing is off limits. No holes are off limits because they, they're a spirit. You can't really tear it up. You can't tear it up anymore. It's all back to normal.
Right. So remember that next time you're watching a Dan Akroyd movie, that Dan Akroyd is fucking the ghost of Mama Cass from The Mamas and the Papas in all available holes.
All right, next up today is Michelle Williams. So, as many of you know, Michelle Williams was married to the Joker.
Right, she was married to one of the actors who portrayed the Joker in the Dark Knight film, Heath Ledger. Great actor, very beloved actor, posthumously won the Oscar for the Joker. Several other breakout films, including like Brokeback Mountain or A Knight's Tale.
Yeah, it was really weird in those to see him with that tan makeup on to cover his Joker face.
He wasn't actually the Joker. I know that's your Joker. Some people like Nicholson. Some people are into Leto. I'm actually kind of a proponent of the Leto Joker. I don't think he got his due. That's a little Warner Brothers conspiracy for you there. Release the Snyder Cut.
No, he's the Joker. Anyways, the Joker actually passed away right after finishing up filming The Dark Knight. He overdosed on kind of a combination of pills, and it just the cocktail of pills didn't sit well, and it did him in.
Yeah, he died in his sleep there. Now, there's a lot of controversy around that. People are saying he was troubled by the role. Some even said that he made a deal with Satan to better play the role of the Joker, to deliver a better role. And that could have led to his death. Like the devil was collecting on his soul after the completion of the film. We don't know if that's true or not, if, he had any connection with Satan. But we do know that his wife, Michelle Williams, has reportedly confided in people that she has been visited by Ledger's ghost twice. He has appeared to her as a dark apparition and has expressed to her regret for his death and regret that he can't be there for his daughter.
Yeah, and he actually expressed really similar sentiment to medium James Van Praagh. So James Van Praagh saw the Joker's face materialize in a mirror, and basically the Joker just told him, "Hey man, I screwed up, and wish I could be there to raise my daughter."
I really hope that he saw Heath Ledger's face and not, Heath Ledger as the Joker's face in the mirror. That would be horrifying. What's up with this medium too, dude? Like, basically quit listening in on Michelle Williams' fucking phone calls with her dead husband, Like, let her talk to the ghost. It seems like he's kind of intercepting phone calls in mirrors, Like, it's almost like spiritual wiretapping.
Yeah, it's like a voyeuristic spirit world mirror where he can just like, that's definitely where he goes to jack off. He definitely looks into the spirit mirror and waits for some dead piece of meat to appear and just starts cranking on the hog.
Yeah, dude. I'm guessing most mediums are probably perverts in that way.
Yeah. Why else would you be a medium except for the desire to fuck the undead?
Last on our list is an actor who's no stranger to conspiracies, and that's the man himself, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, some would even call him a time-traveling vampire.
That's been said. He is definitely into the occult and conspiracies and the esoteric. I can tell you that. If you look up anything about him, you know that he has bought some crazy shit. He owns a lot of crazy shit. And I mean, come on, he's been in some of the best, movies that have to do with paranormal and conspiracy, He was in City of Angels.
National Treasure.
And I mean, National Treasure alone, right there, is just full of conspiracies.
Yeah.
I think it is, responsible, I think, partly for our huge boom in conspiracy culture that we're experiencing right now, and conspiracy culture getting into the mainstream. I think it was basically Indiana Jones with conspiracies.
Yeah, for sure it was. And just his whole body of work, there's definitely a fascination with the paranormal in general. And the man owns like 10 castles. He's got all his money tied up in castles.
Right. We know he's into some esoteric shit. And if we're talking about actors making deals with the devil, I mean, this guy was Ghost Rider. Literally a character about making a deal with the devil to become a spirit of vengeance.
Yeah, and again, heading back to the interdimensional vampire, maybe that was Nick Cage's deal with the devil.
Right, that's totally possible. We know, though, that he has purchased the most haunted house in New Orleans. It's a very haunted property. Then supposedly he sold it without ever staying in it a single night because it freaked him out too much.
Yeah, this house was owned by Dr. Louis Lalaurie, and rumored that he and his wife murdered hundreds of slaves in the house.
Super fucked up. Like, if Nick Cage researched this beforehand, I hope he did. I mean, I wouldn't have fucking bought the house. He probably bought it because he heard it was so haunted. So if it's for research, I get that. Totally get that. Apparently, it, again, too fucking haunted for him to even research or stay a night there.
Yeah, there are multiple kind of haunting instances in the house. In the 1930s, there was a merchandiser who had set up a furniture store in the house, and all his shit kept getting ruined. There was a resident at one time, they said they saw a headless man inside the house. So yeah, just a lot of fucked up shit going on in that house all the time.
It's got to be super fucked up if Nick Cage won't even stay there, right?
Right, 100%. With the shit that Nick Cage will go through, that he just puts his body through to do those films.
Thank you, listeners, for joining us in this special celebrity episode of Bridging Realms. We love sharing these kind of stories with you, and love seeing these kind of people in the celebrity realm, putting their nuts on the line and putting their, stories out there to be heard by the people.
Yeah, in a way, if you look at us as the little guy, it's kind of the celebrities extending an olive branch and kind of giving it up to the little guy and giving us an opportunity, to latch on and be able to tell these stories. And it really kind of validates what we're doing in our industry.
It really does. So I thank these celebrities for putting their stories out there. I thank Dan Akroyd for continuing his sexual relationship with Mama Cass from the Mamas and the Papas. I thank Heath Ledger for possibly making a deal with the devil for his portrayal of the Joker. It's very good. Joaquin Phoenix, we saw just kill it as the Joker. If Heath made that deal with the devil, maybe there was some possession there.
Yeah, definitely.
If so, we thank Heath Ledger for that. We thank these other celebrities, Nick Cage for just doing all the weird shit he does, and for bringing conspiracy to the mainstream. So this episode is definitely in honor of them. We thank them for their contribution. And if there's any celebrities out there listening, hit us up on social media, over email. We'd love to interview you about anything paranormal and bridge any kind of realm you'd like to bridge. We'd love to get the listener bump.
Bridging Realms is a part of the Bridging Realms Network in association with the Bridging Realms Project, with additional support provided by realmies like you.